I can think of no better vacation this August than to be invited to get naked and get down with some fat, naked Republicans like Newt Gingrich. What a great summer vacation that would be.
Owl statue also.
What else do they do? They drink what? They drink blood? I mean, what else are you suggesting?
Well, the interesting thing is there's a video on YouTube where you can see it. I mean, they show the whole little ceremony they do.
Well, let's not go into it. I'm not interested in that part. Can we do this in a family way? What do they do there that upsets you?
Well, they do a mock sacrifice in front of an owl statue. And
that's cute. That's almost innocent. And what is it that they sacrifice?
Conservatism.
No, but what do they kill?
Well, it's a mock sacrifice of a human being. It's like a dummy. It's a wooden.
A dummy. What, they use a crash dummy from an old test that that Schwarzenegger gets from one of the departments he has. They get a crash dummy and they sacrifice it.
I think so. I don't think so. I mean, it has origins in paganism. And
is there sex? Come on, let's get down to it. Is there wild sex in the woods while the wives were away? Is that what you're implying? The thought of it with Newt Gingrich is enough to make me puke. Savage. Streaming at 910knew.com. This is the Savage Nation on Talk 910KNEW.
After 6 extraordinary years on the district court, I was appointed by President Clinton to the United States Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit. On that court, I have enjoyed the benefit of sharing ideas and perspectives with wonderful colleagues. As we have worked together,
what a crock of garbage. Who does she think she's talking to? People who listen to Michael Jackson? Are you kidding listening to this person? She's stupid if she thinks anyone believes a word of this pap, this garbage. The woman is a stone-hearted racist and a narcissist to top it all off, in my opinion. Her Latina genius is going to make her better than everybody, and white males need not apply to the fire department. You hear this? That's the best they could do? All right, pick a liberal with some judicial genius. It's frightening, the meltdown, the lowest common denominator here. Play Para Vivir. I'd rather listen to Puerto Rican music. That's the theme song of the Savage Nation. There you go. Take a look at who's running the country today. Take a look at the faces. Nancy Pelosi, Steny Hoyer, Al Frankenstein. Take a look at what's in the Senate now. Take a look at what's going on in your country. You're telling me this is a step up or a step down? It's like a meltdown, not a step up or a step down. It's a meltdown, not a step down. It's a meltdown. It's like Chernobyl. Our government is run by incompetents and morons and thieves. It is a meltdown. Virginia Beach John, welcome to the Savage Nation.
Hi, Dr. Savage.
Hello.
I waited for about an hour to try to get to you, and I'm listening to you. I don't know whether you done passed that subject or not. But when you was talking about Obama not being elected because of his race, you know, all that mixture you got in it.
Yeah.
And about you were the only one, I listen to a lot of talk radio, but you were the only one that don't take sides and you just call it like it is.
Well, John, wait a minute. Let's evaluate this. Obama did nothing as a U.S. Senator. Nothing. He never wrote anything that anyone really paid any attention to. What did he do that made him so special? Nothing. Where did he come from? Who is he? There's even big questions about where he was born. You know that.
Yes.
Is he a U.S. citizen? That's a monster story that is being suppressed, that's under the surface. So the fact of the matter is, putting that aside, we now have an incompetent man pushed by affirmative action as president, who's now trying to push a rather ordinary, if not lower than ordinary woman into the U.S. Senate, into the Supreme Court. Why shouldn't I be outraged?
Well, no, I'm saying you should be.
I want to remind the audience listening to this show, if you think that this is based on race, that you are 100% wrong. Mark this down in bronze. When George Bush tried to appoint Harriet Mier to the Supreme Court, I raised bloody hell. Because I said she's a hack. She's his personal lawyer. She's I forget the word I used, the exact word. Basically, she was a nobody. She had done nothing. And I organized a lot of people to send letters to Bush and to the congressman saying, reject Harriet Mier because she's unqualified. Remember that at all, John? I don't think you were listening to the show then. Very few people don't know that it was I who undermined Harriet Mier's appointment to the Supreme Court because I thought it would have been a disaster for America. So it's not based on race. To me, I'm a guy who looks up to people who've achieved something. I'm the kind of guy, because I worked so hard in my life to have what I have. I've struggled. I have fought. I've overcome every kind of adversity imaginable to get what I have, and people try to take it away from me every day, as you know. So I look up to people who've achieved something. Whether I agree with them or not politically is almost irrelevant. If they've achieved something, I admire them. If they've gotten there due to the government pushing them on me, I don't admire them at all. I despise them. Pennsylvania David, you're next up on the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please. What's on your mind?
Michael, thank you very much for taking my call. You stole my thunder. I was going to say just that exact point, that we had her retracted, and I just want to know what the intellectual honesty among the liberals.
You're talking about Harriet Mier when I raised such hell over it, remember?
I remember like yesterday.
And what was it that I said? I called her a non-entity. Now I remember. I said that Harriet Mier, who, by the way, was a white woman, in case you've forgotten, not Hispanic, is unqualified. She's a non-entity. Bush picked her because she's his private lawyer. It's a disaster for him to get away with this. No to Harriet Mier, remember? And as a result, they then picked Roberts. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
And Roberts is a good man, an intelligent man, and a centrist. That's what we need on the Supreme Court, not an extremist and a racist like Sotomayor.
So for those liberals who always espouse the intellectual honesty, I want to know where it is. All I can say is, like a pointer, like a pointee.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. 1-800-449-8255. MichaelSavage.com is the website. And I see Bernie Madoff's going to a club fed, even though they gave him 150 years, and that was supposed to send him to a bad, hard time where sausage would have been served 3 times a day. He is going to Otisville, which is near his penthouse, so his children can visit with the gold. Or want to find out where he hid it and which mattress. Otisville is near Middletown, New York, in Orange County, 77 miles away from Bernie Madoff's former penthouse apartment. I thought that the 150 years meant he was going to go to some horrendous place with sleep 900 days a year. No. No. He's going to go to a club here. He's going to a club. He's going to get special food and special treatment. If anyone looks at him wrong, he's going to sue. You know that. Otisville's a country club. I know. Believe me, I know what it is. I've looked into it. He got the soft... that's where his lawyer wanted him to go. That's where the lawyer worked to get him in there. How did he pull this off? I wonder how much he had to pay under the table through the lawyer to get into Otisville. Does anyone have any idea what this costs? I'd like to know myself what this kind of thing costs. You get 150 years. You're supposed to go to a slammer in Alabama where you wear striped suits with a chain and you break rocks or whatever in the sun. He's going to Otisville, which normally they send, like, traffic scofflaws to, or someone who, like, absconded a minor offense, and he's going to get special meals and hang out. He'll get a job in the law library because he's an expert on how to get around it, so therefore they should put him in the law library. How much does it cost to get your lawyer to smear off a judge to get you in a joint like that? Is there any listening to the show who went to Otisville? And how much did it cost? You could call with a napkin over your mouth. I'd like to know. Let's say people want to know these things. How much do you think Bernie Madoff's lawyer paid and the judge to get him appointed to Otisville? That's like going to Harvard as opposed to Alabama State University. You know what I'm saying? It's like Harvard Square. Air-conditioned, heated, direct TV, special billiards, probably a bowling alley, a chicken-plucking institute. I don't know what they have up there. Is there any listening to this show? Come on, I want to talk about this for a minute. Because, when the show's going to come to an end in an hour and 20 minutes, and I'm going to have a scotch, then we'll have to get home, then scotch, then the red wine, because I feel it coming back, the claw at the throat. No one's calling from Otisville. Is there anyone listening to the show who was in Otisville? Knows someone in Otisville? Can tell us about Otisville? Can tell us how much you have to smear off a corrupt judge in New York to get to Otisville. How did he get there? Because they said that if he got less time, he could go to Otisville. But once Denny Chin threw 150 years at him, he wasn't going to get a soft touch. Now he's going to Otisville? Does anybody know? Indiana, Kevin knows something about Sotomayor. Go ahead, Kevin. I'd like to hear it.
Yeah, I was watching the Fox News program yesterday. I thought it was really interesting that they're of the same ilk, Obama and Sotomayor. Just as Obama gets elected and then kind of turns on the country that he's supposed to be leading, Sotomayor, even though she had been gotten into both law schools on affirmative action, she brought suit against both law schools.
What, for not appointing her fast enough to a higher position?
Yes.
Well, that's nothing unusual. I'll tell you who else did it. There's a guy who's about 4'1", who was the labor secretary under Bill Clinton named Robert Wright.